All right, let's picture something for a second. Imagine this simple world, right? It's full of raccoons, and the way they buy stuff, well, it's with leaves. And the one thing every raccoon wants more than anything, a perfect, shiny apple. Life's pretty great, but what happens when you're fresh out of leaves? That's the big question we're gonna dig into.
So this is the classic problem, isn't it? You spot that perfect apple, it's calling your name, but your pockets are totally empty, no leaves. So what's a hungry raccoon supposed to do? Just walk away and forget about it? Nah, not so fast. Turns out there's another option.
And that option is something we're gonna call the leaf card. Yep, I know, it sounds a little bit like magic, and honestly, it kinda is. This is the tool, the thing that helps you get from no leaves to delicious apple.
Okay, so what is this leaf card exactly? It's actually pretty simple. Think of it like a promise. The Raccoon Bank gives you this little card, and it basically lets you borrow their leaves to go buy apples right now. So you get your snack, and then you've got about 30 days or so to scrounge up more leaves and pay the bank back. Simple as that.
But hold on, the Raccoon Bank doesn't just hand these cards out to any old raccoon. Nope. They've got to know that you're a reliable critter, someone who's actually going to pay them back. You have to prove you can be trusted with their leaves. So how do they even measure something like trust?
Well, they use this thing called a credit score. You can just think of it as your trust number. It's a score that basically tells the bank, hey, how likely is this raccoon to pay me back on time? And it's pretty straightforward. The higher your score, the more the bank trusts you. And the more they trust you, well, the more leaves they're probably willing to let you borrow.
And you can see here, the Raccoon Bank kind of lumps these scores into different levels. Over on the far left, you've got the low scores, which they've charmingly labeled not worth eating. Yeah, that's not a good sign. But as your score gets better, you move over to the right into the good and very good zones. That's where you want to be. It shows you're a top-notch, trustworthy raccoon.
So you might be thinking, why go through all this trouble? Why not just use my own leaves? And that's a fair question. But it turns out there are some really cool perks that come with this thing. Let's talk about the bright side.
First off, using a leaf card the right way helps you build up that credit score, which is super important for bigger stuff down the line. Like getting a loan for a new den or maybe a tiny raccoon car. It's also way more secure. Think about it. If some shady character steals your card, they're stealing the bank's leaves, not your personal stash. You're also protected from getting scammed with fake apples. And on top of all that, there's one more massive reason.
And that's the rewards. Okay, this is where it gets really fun. For every apple you buy, the bank might toss you some apple points. You can save those up for a stay at a fancy tree stump hotel, or maybe get apple miles for flights to visit family on the other side of the forest. And the really good cards, they can even get you free tickets to the coolest events in the woods.
Okay, but every good story has a dark side, right? And the leaf card is no exception. If you're not paying attention, there's a really, really dangerous trap just waiting for you. So yeah, let's talk about the dark side.
The big villain in this story has a name: compound interest. It works like this. If you don't pay the bank back everything you owe, they slap on an extra fee called interest. But here's the nasty trick, the real trap. They don't just charge you interest on the lease you first borrowed, oh no. They charge you interest on your new total, the original amount plus the interest. It's like a debt that starts eating itself to get bigger.
Let's just look at how fast this can get out of control. Say you borrow 100 leaves. Okay, after just 1 month if you haven't paid it back, a 2% interest rate means you now owe 102 leaves. Fine. But the next month they charge interest on the 102, so now you owe over 104 leaves. By the third month, it's more than 106. You can see how this tiny little snowball of debt can turn into a giant boulder rolling downhill right at you.
And it's not just the big monster of compound interest either. There are all these other little traps too. You've got setup fees, annual fees just for the privilege of having the card, late fees if you're even a day behind, and even ATM fees. They all pile on top of each other.
Okay, so that all sounds pretty terrifying, right? But listen, it doesn't have to be a horror story. If you just follow a few simple rules, any raccoon, and I mean any raccoon, can totally master the leaf card and steer clear of all those traps. It really just comes down to being smart about it.
All right, here they are, the 5 golden rules for being a wise raccoon. Number 1, always check the APR so you know the real cost. 2, pick a card with rewards you're actually going to use. Don't get distracted by shiny things. 3, and this is the big one, folks, only, and I mean only, spend what you know for a fact you can pay back. 4, Try to keep your spending to just 30% of your total limit. And number 5, the most important rule of all, always pay your bill in full. Every single month, no exceptions.
Let's zoom in on that 4th rule for a second, because it's a big deal. As you can see on this chart, staying in that 30% slice, the safe zone, tells the Raccoon Bank that you're in control. You're not desperate for their leaves. And that's one of the best things you can do to keep your credit score high. Once you start creeping into that bigger danger zone, it's a red flag for them, and your score can start to drop.
You know, at the end of the day, this is all about being smart and helping each other out. This isn't something you have to figure out all on your own. It's about sharing what you learn so that everyone in the forest can do well. Because you know what they say, raccoons together strong.
So what's the bottom line here? The leaf card, it's not good and it's not evil. It's just a tool, a really powerful tool. And it can either help you build amazing things or it can get you into a whole lot of trouble. The only thing that decides what it's going to be is you. It's how you choose to use it. So the question is, for you, is it a tool or is it a trap? That choice is all yours.